So what made you sought after this fight with Canelo?
Canelo's a great fighter. You know, he's respected. I'm a fan of Canelo. And like I said before, Canelo is the last of the great fighters that's available to fight. Canelo's at 168. It's a big task, but I'm always up for it. Big risk, big reward. And I want to be the first ever boxer to be a three-weight undisputed world champion.
Talk to me about like the business of this fight, because it's live on Netflix. This is your first time fighting on Netflix?
Right.
How does this fight come together as opposed to like typical fights that you've had in the past?
Well, it's all the same. You know, at the end of the day, you got the promotion, you got the network coming out, and they shooting you, and they promoting the fight. It's just, you know, on a different network.
This is the best fight in boxing, bar none. You know, we've got two of the best fighters in the world, and Terence Crawford trying to do what no other's done before, a four division world champion, and, you know, jumping up from light middleweight now to super middle, trying to achieve the unachievable against Canelo Alvarez, who is pound for pound. Can he do it? I think he can. I think that this guy creates history, and Terence Crawford is that good.
Spencer Oliver warned Canelo that he's facing the biggest challenge of his career. He believes Terence Crawford is chasing history, stepping into dangerous territory where legends are either made or broken. Even promoter Eddie Hearn, who once leaned towards Canelo, is now starting to tilt in Crawford's favor. He admitted, "I think if Terence Crawford decides to box elusively in this fight, I think he's gonna really have success." That statement alone tells you how dangerous Crawford really is. If a veteran promoter like Hearn sees Canelo struggling against that slick, elusive style, then it's not just hype, it's a warning. Crawford has the skills to turn this fight into a nightmare, making Canelo chase shadows all night long. The shift in tone from someone who first backed Canelo speaks volumes, and it shows that the unthinkable is edging closer to reality. Eddie Hearn painted the matchup as more than just another fight. It's two legends meeting at the tail end of their careers, but he quickly shifted focus to one burning issue: the weight.
I think it's a great fight. I mean, you know, it's two guys that are coming towards the back end of their careers, but two legends, pound for pound legends of the sport. A fascinating fight between two guys with tremendous ring IQ. I guess the big conversation is how the weight will affect Bud and how he will respond to the size. You know, we got a situation where in Los Angeles, Crawford didn't look that big against the 154. In fact, I thought Madrimov looked the bigger, the stronger guy in that fight. I thought it was a very, very close fight, that fight. Now you're going up two divisions at 168 for Canelo Alvarez, who is, you know, a pound for pound legend of the sport. Against Skull, he didn't look great. You know, the movement didn't look great. I didn't think his legs looked fantastic.
Hearn reminded fans that Crawford didn't even look huge at 154, and now he's jumping to 168 against one of the sport's strongest champions. That physical leap is the ultimate test of his limits. Still, Hearn made it clear that Crawford's greatness often defies logic. This fight will prove whether pure skill can dominate sheer size. Hearn then raised the real danger: how Crawford reacts when the punches start flying at super middleweight. That, he said, is the true million-dollar factor.
When he gets hit, that's really the million-dollar question. How can he hang at 168? When you spend time with both of them, they're both so confident, you actually can't see him losing. Bud talks a brilliant game, and he's walked the walk continuously. And he has probably the best boxing IQ in the game. I probably, and you know, Canelo's my guy, but I probably lean slightly.
From Hearn's perspective, both fighters are dripping with confidence, making it almost impossible to picture either man walking away defeated. Yet he leaned toward Crawford, praising his unmatched IQ and ability to adapt. Even as a longtime admirer of Canelo, Hearn admitted the scales tip ever so slightly toward Bud. It's a rare admission that shows how much respect Crawford has earned. Hearn acknowledged what most fans already feel: Canelo will walk in as the favorite, but he didn't stop there.
I think that Canelo will be a favourite going in, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if if Crawford could do it.
In the same breath, Hearn made it clear that an upset would not surprise him in the slightest. Crawford has already proven that odds and labels mean little when he steps into the ring. For Hearn, the fight isn't about favorites. It's about whether Crawford can turn belief into reality and flip the boxing world on its head. His words cement Crawford as the most dangerous underdog in the sport. Hearn also pointed back to a fight that still haunts Canelo, the loss to Dimitri Bivol. He called it the blueprint Crawford could follow.
It'll be really interesting. I think Bivol really did set the blueprint of how to beat Canelo Alvarez. You know, what you do is you're slick, but you throw punches in bunches, you move into range, bomb, 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 out of range. You do it again, because Canelo's not that active. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, and he hates movement, hates it. Crawford's got, Crawford, to be honest, Crawford's got to probably make it a little bit of a stinker.
According to Hearn, Bivol exposed Canelo with slick movement, volume punching, and constant rhythm. That's the exact style Crawford has mastered. If he makes Canelo chase, he controls the fight. Hearn's warning was clear. Unless Canelo has evolved since that defeat, Crawford will walk him into the same trap. This fight will show if Canelo has truly learned from past mistakes. Hearn highlighted the importance of the opening rounds. In his eyes, Crawford is built to grab control early.
Like, you've just got to go in there and just win rounds. And I think Crawford will win rounds in those fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially the early rounds. So Canelo may have to do something and try and, because he's not that active. I don't think he really wants to work that much.
Hearn believes Crawford's sharpness and tempo will earn him rounds before Canelo can settle. And when a fighter like Canelo is forced to play catch-up, the pressure mounts fast. Hearn concluded that if Bud builds a lead early, Canelo may find himself fighting against time and momentum. The opening rounds could end up writing the story of the whole fight. American boxer Sergio Mora also weighed in, pointing out how Crawford's physical transformation is changing the narrative of this fight. He stressed that appearances can be just as powerful as skills inside the ring.
Bud Crawford is a smaller fighter, but the more this fight goes, it's more 50-50, and more people are starting to respect this man because he's been posting social media. He looks bigger. He looks like a muscular fighter, not like an out-of-shape lightweight or welterweight coming up in weight. He looks like a legitimate, muscular, middleweight type fighter. I love the fact that he's actually marketing himself, getting great sparring, the running, the videos, and just, he looks like a beast, man. So I love everything he's doing to promote this fight and to show everyone I'm not the smaller man here. It's going to be an equal-sized fight when it comes to physicality.
Mora highlighted how Crawford has silenced critics by looking every bit the part of a natural middleweight. The training clips, the sparring footage, and the raw physique are sending a clear message. He is not stepping in as the smaller man. This shift in perception is fueling the belief that the fight is now on equal terms. For Mora, Crawford's body and mindset already look battle-ready, and that makes this showdown even harder to predict. Sergio Mora doubled down on Crawford's transformation, this time focusing on the athletic side of his rise in weight. He made it clear that Crawford's build isn't just for show, it's functional and powerful.
I mean, it can, but he's an athletic fighter. I mean, he has a wrestling background. I think he put on the right muscle. He's not soft in the midsection. You could tell that he still carries that muscle right. It's like whenever you do go up in weight and you see the muscle around the shoulders and the biceps and the back, that's when you're like, wow, okay, this is impressive. You see him deadlifting. He's a strong fighter, and he did it the right way. Just like Roy Jones Jr. when he went to heavyweight. He didn't look heavy. He looked just as muscular, only he did it, the muscle were in the right proportion places. I think Bud looks the exact same way.
Mora pointed out that Crawford's added muscle looks natural, balanced, and built for fighting. From the shoulders to the back, every part of his frame now screams strength. Mora even compared the transformation to Roy Jones Jr.'s legendary move up in weight, saying Crawford mirrors that same flawless shift. This comparison puts Bud in elite company, raising the stakes for what's to come. Chris Mannix also weighed in, pointing out that Crawford's preparation hasn't been rushed or reckless. He underlined how every step has been part of a bigger plan aimed at one man, Canelo Alvarez.
He looks physically spectacular. He clearly has put on the weight in the right way. And this is not the case of a guy having a couple of months to get up to 168 pounds. He has basically been preparing for this moment for the better part of a year. Like, he knew that it was Canelo Alvarez or bust. So he's going to come in I think, looking strong.
Mannix stressed that Crawford's body looks the part because the move up was carefully mapped out. This wasn't just a last-minute weight jump. It was a year-long mission. Every run, every lift, every camp has been geared toward handling the size and power at 168. That level of commitment shows Crawford isn't coming in to test himself. He's coming in to win. And when preparation meets ambition, history is often written. Spencer Oliver also reminded fans just how special Crawford is at welterweight. For him, Bud doesn't just belong in the division, he stands among the all-time greats.
You know, I've always said it, I think that he lives with any welterweight. His best weight really has been at welterweight. He lives with any welterweight in any division for me, and that's including all the greats. You know, you're going back to your Roberto Durans, Sugar Ray Leonards, all those guys. I think that he is that good, and we find out in September. It's going to be a fantastic fight.
Oliver placed Crawford's name alongside legends like Duran and Leonard, saying his skill set holds up across any era. That kind of comparison is rare and powerful, showing the level of respect Crawford commands. September isn't just another fight, it's a proving ground for where Crawford ranks in boxing history. Oliver's words make it clear, this is greatness being tested at its highest level. The outcome could redefine where Crawford stands in the conversation of boxing immortality. Oliver then turned his attention to the fight itself, predicting the kind of war fans will get to witness. In his eyes, both men are simply too good to fold.
In the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez, and I'd like to see him beat Alvarez, quite frankly.
I mean, a joint 70 knockouts in their careers.
They're incredible.
Is this going to go the distance?
Insanely, I think it will. I think because they're both technically that good and they're both very durable. That's how they become the superstars of the sport of today. You know, they both can take a shot. They both mix it up. They'll both sit in the pocket. You're going to have excitement for sure because they will both go for it. They're both spiteful, very heavy-handed, but I think they both hear the final bell.
He pointed to their toughness, their power, and their willingness to trade. That mix, he said, guarantees fireworks from the opening bell. Neither man backs down, and that's what makes this matchup so explosive. For Oliver, it's not about whether there will be drama, it's about how long both can endure it. His take was clear. This fight isn't ending early, it's built to go the distance. And by the final bell, fans will have witnessed a modern classic. Oliver broke down the biggest chess match of the night, Crawford's intelligence against Canelo's natural size and strength.
But I just think that Crawford's extra boxing IQ and the fact that he's moved up them weight divisions, who Canelo moved up from welterweight as well. He's gone through the weights as well. So when you look at them sizing up now, Crawford actually looks bigger than him right now. But Canelo's developed as a super middleweight. He's accustomed to being super middleweight now, whereas Crawford isn't. But I think that extra movement will be enough for Crawford, and I think he will be able to sit in the pocket when he has to against Alvarez, but be sure this one will be a barnstormer for sure.
He admitted that Canelo is the seasoned super middleweight, already comfortable at the weight, but he also highlighted Crawford's movement, adaptability, and ability to fight inside when needed. For Oliver, that extra layer of ring IQ could tilt the fight in Bud's favor. He painted a picture of a clash where brains and precision meet brute force. And with both men built to entertain, Oliver believes fans are in for a barn burner that defines careers. This could be the fight that cements Crawford's genius or reaffirms Canelo's dominance. Simon Jordan stepped in with a bold take, admitting that the one challenge most people raise against Crawford, size, may not be the deciding factor. He argued this is the perfect moment for Bud to face Canelo.
The fascinating thing is that the difficulty that most people would put to Terence Crawford is the size element of things. But I think if he's going to fight Sal Alvarez, it's the right time to fight him now, because we're seeing elements of decline in Alvarez. Okay, the dance partners has been forced to fight against William Skell, didn't come to fight, did they?
No.
But Crawford, it'll be interesting to see how their styles gel and how the fight proceeds. But having watched Crawford like you have done, from the moment he landed on his shores to deal with Ricky Burns all those years ago, to the manner in which he dismantled Errol Spence and stepping up the weight classes, I'm in Spencer's camp. We're both in the same position, aligned, foolishly together perhaps, in the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez.
Jordan pointed out that signs of decline are beginning to show in Canelo, making this the window where Crawford's chances are strongest. He recalled Crawford's rise from the night he crossed the Atlantic to fight Ricky Burns, all the way to dismantling Errol Spence in brutal fashion. That journey through divisions has forged a fighter ready for the impossible. Jordan aligned himself with Spencer Oliver, standing firm in the belief that Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo. And in his words, it wasn't just analysis, it was a statement of conviction. Jordan then drew on history, reminding fans of the night Canelo came undone against Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight. It was proof that even great champions can be cracked.
We've seen Canelo Alvarez take that journey up to light heavy and find himself coming up against Dimitri Bivol and not being able to do what he does at super middleweight. I just think that Crawford is such a fighter of such stature and competence that he might just be the kryptonite to Saul Alvarez.
For Jordan, that memory looms large over this fight. He sees Crawford as the type of fighter whose brilliance, composure, and skill could expose Canelo in similar fashion. To him, Bud represents the very kryptonite capable of stripping away Canelo's aura of invincibility. It's a perspective that fuels the belief this fight is about more than belt. It's about legacy. And if Jordan is right, boxing could be on the verge of its next seismic shock. Tony Bellew didn't hesitate and also weighed in Canelo versus Crawford fight. There's only one winner in this fight, and it's not even close. Stated, "I still think that Crawford wins, and I still think he wins handily." Bellew's conviction carried weight. This wasn't a casual prediction, it was a firm declaration. He sees Crawford's skill set as simply too much for Canelo to handle. Where others point to size and power, Bellew points to ring IQ, timing, and adaptability. His confidence adds another powerful voice leaning in Crawford's direction, and when seasoned fighters speak with such certainty, fans take notice. Bellew pushed back against Canelo's dismissal of Crawford's resume, especially when it comes to elite opponents. He reminded everyone of one defining victory.
I was watching them in a press conference and I seen Canelo saying, name me one elite fighter you've beaten. He kept saying, just one elite fighter. As everyone forgot about the Errol Spence win. Because for me, the Errol Spence win was an elite win.
Yeah.
Errol Spence was reigning and dominant in the welterweight division, was beating everybody. And he went in there and beat Errol Spence up. So there's the first elite win that he's got. And if you look at these two fighters, there isn't that much size difference. Okay, the weight will be a bit different, but these fighters have been going through weight divisions quite similar.
Yeah,
you know,
down,
Canelo started at 10 stone, goes to from light welterweight to welterweight to light middleweight. We've all seen the rise of Canelo. People are making out like Canelo is a fully fledged light heavyweight or a fully fledged super middleweight.
He's been up and down.
This guy has been through the divisions.
For Bellew, the Errol Spence performance silenced every critic who ever doubted Crawford's credentials. That was an elite win against a dominant welterweight champion at the peak of his powers. He also stressed that both Canelo and Crawford have taken similar journeys through the weight division. Bellew's message was clear: don't let size fool you. This is a battle between two men who've walked the same road. And in that balance, he sees Crawford standing tall. Bellew then shifted focus to the constant talk about size, questioning why fans act like Canelo is a giant in the division.
So this guy, okay, at the moment he's the undisputed unified super middleweight champion. Is he the biggest super middleweight out there? Absolutely not. No. Is he even the biggest middleweight out there? No. So why is it when Terence Crawford goes in with him, and Terence Crawford's fought now at light middleweight, Madrimov, I think he'd be for one of the titles. So he's got to win over a big light middleweight. That's it. And he's got to win over an elite welterweight, a division that Canelo was at not so long ago. I just think people are writing him off because of the size factor. Canelo is the stronger man, there's no denying that.
He made it clear that Canelo may be the undisputed super middleweight champion, but he's not the biggest man in the weight class. To Bellew, people are overplaying the physical gap between the two. Yes, Canelo hits harder and looks stronger, but that doesn't automatically mean victory. Bellew emphasized that Crawford has already beaten bigger men before. He believes writing Bud off based on size alone is a mistake boxing fans have made before and paid for. Bellew added that if size and strength were all it took to win, boxing would be a dull sport. He pointed instead to styles, adaptability, and decline.
If the biggest and the strongest man always won boxing matches, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
It would be, exactly.
And we'd stop watching.
Don't forget that Canelo struggled against southpaws as well in the past, and
Bud's not consistently always a southpaw. He switches back and forth. He's got so many different facets to his style. He's an unbelievably talented fighter. I just think he'll be too much, and I also do think Canelo's not what he once was.
He reminded fans that Canelo has struggled with slick southpaws in the past, and Crawford, with his switch-hitting style, is a nightmare matchup. For Bellew, it's not just about power, but about options, and Bud has them all. He believes Canelo isn't the same fighter he once was, while Crawford looks sharper than ever. That contrast, Bellew argued, tilts the fight toward the challenger. In his view, Crawford's layers of skill will simply overwhelm Alvarez. Bellew spoke about how the fight might unfold down the stretch. He believes the later rounds will tell the real story.
I think it will possibly go to the judges' scorecards, but Canelo will be going for the stoppage.
Yeah.
Once this gets past 8 rounds, Canelo's going to fear the cards.
Those
because
championship rounds will be exciting, won't they?
Looking from the outside, looking in, you know, Canelo seems like he's got a bit of a bee in his bonnet that Turkey al-Sheikh is favouring Crawford.
Yeah.
You know, he's going on, oh, your daddy's this, and he's looking at that. And when you look into that, you're thinking in the back of his mind, he'd be like, I don't want to go to points here. I don't need to.
Got a point to prove now. Yeah, he wants. Maybe he'll be going for that late stoppage.
We'll see.
According to Bellew, Crawford could force the fight to the judges, but he suspects Canelo won't want to risk it. He sees Alvarez chasing a late stoppage to avoid leaving it in the hands of the scorecards. That desperation could make the championship rounds electric, as both men push to prove a point. Bellew noted the psychological tension already showing in Canelo's words at press events. In his eyes, that pressure could lead Canelo to gamble big, and that's where Crawford can strike. Former world champion Sean Porter broke it down in his own style, calling this fight a razor-thin matchup. For him, the margin for error is smaller than ever.
I got to keep it real. You're right. This is a 50-50 fight. This is a fight where, as I was telling the Uber driver this morning, these guys, we've seen them both make mistakes in the ring, but they've never cost them, right? This is the first fight that I believe they both have are going to get in the ring where the small mistake is actually a big mistake against the opposer. So Canelo making a small mistake is actually a big mistake because Crawford actually has the ability to somehow know that that mistake is about to happen, and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Canelo, on the other hand, Crawford hasn't been known to get hit, especially early in fights. And Canelo is the kind of guy where, he's going to come out and let his hands go. He's going to find moments to let his hands go. But when he finds those moments, you can't be caught slipping. You can't be caught sleeping. You can't be caught in between, do I go in, do I go out? Make that small mistake against this guy right here, it becomes a monumental mistake. And that might be the last time you make a move that night. You know what I mean?
Porter highlighted how both Canelo and Crawford have made mistakes in past fights, but never against someone who could fully capitalize. This time, every slip could be fatal. He explained that Crawford's sharp instincts allow him to punish even the slightest opening, while Canelo's power makes any lapse from Bud potentially fight-ending. Porter's words painted a picture of a high-stakes chess match, where timing and precision mean everything. In his eyes, this isn't just a battle of skill, it's a test of who blinks first under fire. At the end of the day, one thing is clear. This fight isn't just about belts, it's about legacy. Terence Crawford is stepping into dangerous waters, chasing history in a way very few dare to do. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, is fighting to prove he is still the king, still untouchable at super middleweight. This is skill versus power, youth versus experience, precision versus strength, and only one man walks out with his story intact. Crawford has the tools to shock the world, but the danger of Canelo's power cannot be ignored. One mistake and it could all be over in a flash. Still, I can't shake the feeling that we may be about to witness something historic a night fans will talk about for years. But what do you think? Can Crawford really carry his brilliance into a heavier division and topple Canelo? Or will Canelo's size and power finally prove to be the wall Crawford can't climb? Will this fight go the distance or end in one devastating moment? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this. The countdown is on, and history is about to be written.